Welcome to another episode of Rambling with Phil. Today I'm going to be installing a wiring harness for the trailer on a 2019 Volkswagen Tiguan. And I'm going to be installing this Kurt trailer harness 56403, which I bought on Amazon.
So one of the first things you have to do is remove the cover in the cargo area and expose what's underneath there. And the next thing is you got to take this piece off the back. In order to do that, you're going to want to peel up the weather stripping here. Get one of your trim remover tools. Start getting under there and just move it along. There should be some clips that hold this down, and you want to just pry this up at those spots. To loosen up so that this trim piece will come up. As you move along, it gets easier. Eventually you'll get all the clips and it will come off, and obviously it will expose this area down here. Here's just a different view of it. So this car actually came with a liner for your trunk protector system, but the next thing you want to do is get this piece up, and you just pull up on it like so. You're basically just trying to get everything out of the rear area of the trunk space. And then you have these things on the side. Also at the back, underneath this lever there, we do need to remove this panel. So we just pry at it with a screwdriver, and then we just pull it out nice and easy so you don't break it. This gives you access to the lights. Okay, so what you have to do next is you got to pry this trim here. There are some clips inside. You can kind of see one of them right there. So there's a few clips on the side. You kind of have to be a little bit courageous because there's a chance you could break the trim, crack it, but you'll have to pry it back, and then you can feed the wires through on the one side there. You do the same thing on the other side, and then you just have to feed the wires down and around. We have to remove, you gotta pull this switch here, or rather this socket, out from the light. And the way to do that, get your screwdriver underneath the red tab, pry that open, and then you get underneath the other piece that's in front of it, and it just pulls out. So doing that on here, show you that on this. Basically we pried that piece up, and then we grabbed this, and then we just pulled it out. Let's pull this piece. Alright, so I've got everything plugged in. I just want to stick that back in there so it's all in place and out of the way again. That takes care of one side. Do the same thing on the other. Now, of course, you can't forget to install the screw for the ground. The screw does come with the package. It pretty much needs to be screwed in anywhere that's metal. So now we have all the wires hooked up to the lights. The next thing to do is to do the power supply, and we're going to have to drill a hole in the bottom of the trunk. So now we've drilled a hole through the floor of the trunk. So I did actually buy a grommet, a rubber grommet, to put in the hole. That way when the wire goes through here for the power, it doesn't scrape up against the edges. So that's basically where the wire comes through underneath the car. And then I kind of threaded it all the way through to the front. So I basically threaded it around, and you can actually kind of see it, and threaded it around and actually put it up between this tray and the bottom of the car, and then to make sure that the wire stayed I guess between the tray and the car, I put some tie wraps to make sure that wire wasn't going to go anywhere or get snagged on the outside. Okay, so we've threaded, I guess, the power line that goes to your lights all the way through to the front of the car, and then what we've done is we have taken the power here and connected it to one of these terminals rather than connecting it right to the battery. This is one of the terminals on the fuse box. So when you close the lid, this is what it looks like fused. One thing I'm not happy about is the way that this cover, the fuse box cover, closes. It doesn't actually close all the way so that you can clip it in. So it's actually loose in the front. One thing that did happen when we did that though was the power was disconnected from the car. So when I started the car up, it said all these lights, all these warning lights came up and basically said nothing worked. I freaked out just very little, at least as much as I could, and took the car for a drive, and I might have got about 50 feet before it figured out all the problem was that the power got disconnected, and it computer or whatever it was figured everything out on its own and everything was working again. So I did make a modification to the box to try and allow the wire to come through it, or the lid of the fuse box. Okay, so I did get the box modified enough, or the box cover modified enough, that I could actually close this completely so that it actually clips in at the front. Everything in the back is all hooked up, and I've put some tie wraps on to make it a little bit neater. Maybe not the greatest thing in the world, but as you can see, everything's all tied in together. So now you've seen how to install a wiring harness for your trailer on a 2019 Volkswagen Tiguan. It is a little different from a 2018 Tiguan, but it's very similar, at least the wiring part is. Some of the parts for removing the trim is a little different because they did make some trim changes from 2018 to 2019, at least as far as I could tell. Hopefully this video will help you as you're thinking about, or as you do, actually go ahead and install a wiring harness for your trailer on a 2019 Volkswagen Tiguan. Thanks for watching Rambling with Phil, and please don't forget to subscribe to my channel.